Hello, hello, hello. Once again, another episode of Power Up Positivity. If this time I actually numbered these correctly, this is episode 8. I hope I don't have to edit this time. But this time I have another wonderful guest. Her nickname might be Mini, but she and her personality is anything but. Ministry of Control. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you doing?
Heck yeah. Well, we're so happy to be here. And what do you mean editing? There's not going to be editing. We're doing it live. And smooches to you, dear. Mwah.
Switches to you as well. S-
Yeah.
so I was going to ask something else, but now I gotta ask this. How did you come up with the smooches thing?
So that is actually something we've always asked, and obviously one should always ask. We're very physical when it comes to being in person, either hugs and kisses, stuff like that. And that's just something how we grew up. Um, Shout out to all of those Eastern European families. Let's go. Uh, and we just kind of brought it into our streaming personality.
Well, if it fits you, I can tell you that much. Um,
Thank you.
and what how did you end up starting to make internet content?
Oof. Well, we started off years ago. This is probably before a lot of y'all's time. Um, Way back when it was kind of a mini origin story. The name Ministry of Ennui Control came from an old bulletin board system we ran off of our old Apple II back in the early 90s. And it was just, random thoughts from Minnie's head as well as cracked wares. We can probably say that now. We think the statutes of limitations ran out on those. Um, and then from there, it was proto podcasts, whatever you want to call those, to podcasts, to there was old classic Mac software called CUC Me back in the day that let you stream. And we did that for a bit. Then we were what's the term? We were a cam streamer in more than one way. Um, for a bit until the mini that y'all know and love, and you better know and love her, started around September of 2020.
Um, how did you come up with this specific incarnation then?
Well, we knew a lot of our lovelies who had personas, that were like cute or cool or this, that, and the other. And to be quite honest, well, we're getting old, and it's hard enough to be ourselves sometimes in the world we live in. So the current mini is probably the closest to real life flesh space mini you can find. We like to say we're about 95% the same being, and this way it allows us to act and be the most comfortable.
Hey, that's what matters in the end.
Hmm.
Um, from what I understand, you're also a massive collector. Uh, how did that start?
Um, well, that's an interesting question.
Hey,
See, a collector just means you're a hoarder that knows where all of your stuff is. But no, kind of started off with us. We grew up rather poor, So whenever we would get something, it was like, hey, this is a really nice thing, be it a game or a piece of software or whatnot. And it was just, we're going to take care of it. And we're going to, like, it wasn't just the, we knew a lot of people at the time that would, like, we bought so what's a good example is, like, we still have our original copy of what is it? Prince of Persia, right, for the Apple II. And you'd find software in, like, the old Rolodexes full of floppy disks, right? You'd buy the software, you'd throw the floppy disks in the little disk holder, and there you go. You're ready to go. But, like, but we like the box art. Somebody took time to make this really cool box art that looks nothing like the game, by the way, but that didn't matter, The box art was to spark your imagination. You went to the store and you saw that, or you saw the ad in the magazine. You're like, I want that game. I want to play that. I want to be that person on the box just for a moment. And then, of course, back then, too, you had very, very cool manuals and all the other gimmies that were in the box. So it kind of started off like that. And then later on in life, as we got older and, worked and whatnot, we found out, people didn't keep their stuff like we did. We'd go to friend's house, and it's like, yeah, here I've got a binder full of CDs, and it's like, well, where's the jewel cases? Where's the inserts? Where's
the everything else?
Where's the everything else? Oh, I threw those away when we bought them. You threw what? Why would you do this? Terrible fate, worse than death.
I've known people who back then, not nearly as much back then as in your case, they would throw away PS2 cases.
Yeah. Our we call our sister program, our older sister. We almost thought she did that just to make us angry. Like, she has her games to this day. She has the old binders that people would put CDs in, like, by her television. And if you take the binder down, you've got music CDs in the front still from way back when. And if you keep going, you'll find, okay, here's, like, her old Wii games, because she had a Wii when the Wii was new. And then you'll get to things like Switch games, just the cartridge in the CD holder.
Why? It doesn't even fit.
It holds it just fine, and then this way I don't have to keep those plastic cases. Oh, you're slowly killing us. You're slowly killing us, sister. Why would you do this anyway? We're going off on a tangent here.
We like tangents here. Oh God! Now I have this image burned in my mind. I'm gonna have nightmares. It's all your fault.
Good. Now we don't have to live with them alone. But the same thing with hardware too. We've anytime we upgraded hardware, or we got enough to, like, buy a new console, we knew so many people that were like, well, we got the newest, latest, greatest thing, so we're going to sell or throw away the old thing. And we're like, but why? It still works just as well as it did, unless it's broken or something. But we'll get to that in a second. Why not keep it? Why not continue to play it or work on it or whatever? One of our biggest pet peeves is e-waste. We've seen time and time again, be it with growing up in the country, it was like cars or farm equipment or whatnot. This thing broke, and us not coming from any money. Well, if this thing is broken, we're going to have to fix it. And if we can't afford parts for it, well, we're going to have to find a way to fix it ourselves. And so many of our friends at the time too, it's like, well, we don't know how to fix it. And our philosophy has always been, well, if it's already broken, you can't break it any worse if it doesn't work. Give it a go. Try fixing it anyway. You'd be surprised. You might be able to fix it and you'll learn something along the way.
Honestly, I now I only have a PC and the Switch, but I used to have a lot of retro consoles. But because I also didn't have a lot of money where I was in my especially early teens and whatnot, I'd always had to switch trade in case if I wanted to have something else. I couldn't
Mm,
afford to have more than one, essentially.
we get you.
But there's a few I wish I had kept. But then again, if I had kept one, then I wouldn't have gotten to try the others.
Right, right.
Um,
That also kept us behind the curve sometimes too. We had our Sega Genesis / Mega Drive for a good long while up until people were into the oh heavens, we're gonna get our generations wrong, but like,
do you remember the year, more or
well,
less?
when the PS2 came out, we quote unquote upgraded. That is, we had enough to get an N64.
So around 2000.
Right, right. So we were always behind whatever was new, but we were fine with this because things were cheaper now because people were already offloading,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we still would have caught Paper Mario as a brand new game.
I'm Yeah, but again, we weren't looking at the new stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Good point.
It's old, but it's old, but it's still good. It's just like Mini.
Eh, we're all none of us are getting younger, and we're all slightly broken. But that's okay.
That's right. That's okay. Makes us unique.
Yeah. Um. How mm, this like I say in most episodes, this is the thing with doing things off the cuff. Sometimes you have to think of questions. Um. What's um. What's the most enjoyable thing for you about streaming?
Most enjoyable thing about the community. That's an easy one.
Um.
And we
And
can we can oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, no, no. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. We can expand on that because we've met and became friends with so many lovelies that just wouldn't physically be possible otherwise if we weren't streaming.
Yeah. I don't even remember how I caught a stream of yours for the first time. Like Barrick, I remember, for example,
Mm-hmm.
but you, I have no idea. I just don't remember. I think you were playing some mid '90s PC game I had never heard of,
That sounds about right. Minnie is just the ghost of the machine. We've always been there.
and I believe what caught my attention in that very first stream. I don't remember the game name. I think it was some kind of 3D first person space shooter kind of thing. And
Hmm.
what I don't I might be describing it wrong, but the thing that caught my attention is how you were going out of your way to record it on real hardware.
And there's a
How
rule around here. If you got real hardware, you use real hardware.
um what motivated you to kind of start that rule?
Um, so we'll throw this out there first of all. We don't have we don't have a problem at all with emulation, right? Emulation lets so many people enjoy the games and software that we got to enjoy back when it was new, right?
Yeah. Uh, Even games that I played on real hardware years back, now if I wanted to do the same on real hardware, it would be way too expensive.
Right, right. And that's another reason too, like cost. Um, Sometimes because just systems won't allow it to run. Um, we were we were cleaning up some things just the other day, and we came across, where is it here? Um, y'all won't be able to see this, that are listening in.
You can
Probably
send me a
not anyway.
picture, and
Okay, yeah. Well,
I can edit it in.
okay, we're sending you a picture right now. Um, so funny enough, the first time we played Metal Gear Solid, was not on the PlayStation. It was actually the PC version.
Oh right, Metal Gear
A
Solid
lot of
1 and 2 have PC versions. Oh,
Right,
back in the
right.
day.
Back in the day on Windows 95. It was buggy as all get out, and we were talking to a good friend and a good friend of ours, fellow streamer, Alpaca Snack Pack, who was playing Metal Gear Solid the other day, one of the modern console ports, like remakes, and he was telling us, "Wow, you should totally play the PC the PC version because there's so many bugs. There's so many bugs." Um,
Do you
but going back,
remember one in specific? Or
most of them, they weren't like game breaking, but it was the game itself just wasn't programmed efficiently to utilize x86 hardware. So
oh boy.
you could like lean up against, how you'd have Snake lean up against a crate or whatnot to knock and get a guard's attention. Yeah, you would clip inside the crate. Um,
How is that not game breaking?
we like to think those as fun bugs or challenging bugs where the camera's view would see through cover for whatever reason, because why wouldn't it? Little added extra difficulty for Spice.
As if European Extreme isn't hard enough.
But
uh,
yeah, so we started doing that. One to like highlight, we wanted to highlight the hardware because a lot of times people ignore the hardware that the games would run on, because like the games themselves are great, are fantastic, right? But they would ignore the hardware it ran on. Like we could go on and on. We're not going to. We're gonna.
I'm not stopping you.
Yes, but we are. Minnie's putting the gag in right now. Mm, uh, like we can go on and on about our favorite processor, the good old Zlog Z80, and how many systems the Z80 powers, and how the Mega Drive uses it as a sound CPU, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, with an emulator, you really don't get to do that. Or rather, if you used a system on a chip, which a lot of the newer hardware-based consoles do, they don't have a Z80 core on it or what have you, so the music's not quite right or the emulation's not quite right. So one of the reasons was to highlight the hardware itself so people can learn about it. And another one is to get people excited about the hardware so that, say you go to your local thrift shop, pawn shop, um, garage boot sale, what have you, and you find a PC or a console or whatnot, and it's broken and it's only like $5. Take the dive, buy the thing, get yourself some tools. What's $5 in you having an afternoon of delight trying to get the thing to work?
Or saying a lot of swear words.
Hey, Minis had it plenty of gay old times with a bunch of four-letter words, but that's neither here nor there.
Um,
Usually it's saying oh source or source or source oh source, but we're not going to go to there. Mm.
um, I always love how passionate you are, and how you let it show in terms of this kind of stuff. Were you always comfortable showing that, or like when you first started um, talking, did you feel like the need to hold back, not talk about as much, and then started feeling more comfortable?
Not at all. We've always been one to show us as it is, put ourselves out there, because either one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to resonate with what we're passionate about and what we have to say, or there's the door. You're going to leave, and it's not going to hurt our feelings if you do. Everybody has their own love. Everybody has their own passion, and not everybody's passion's going to sync up, and that's fine.
Yeah, I personally I love hearing people talk about what they love and just go off on it. um, do you have a favorite stream of yours that you did that you're like, when you when you ended it, you're like, damn, that was really good, that was really fun.
Hmm. Think about that. Think about that. Favorite stream. Okay, there's a couple. We can think of a couple in differing scenarios here, okay?
Shoot.
The first time was when we did, okay, some backstory. Our favorite video game of all time ever is Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for the Nintendo 64. And we only play that game on our birthday. And we only play that game on our birthday because we enjoy that game so much. We never want that game to lose its magic. So playing it once a year is just enough for us to remember, like, oh, we know the bosses, we know the levels, and the music, et cetera, ad nauseum. But it's far enough apart from every playthrough that you forget all the finer details, right?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So when we first decided that we were going to stream our birthday game, first of all, not a whole lot of love for our friend Goemon online. We're going to be honest with you. It's going to throw that out there.
Yeah, he's been done dirty out there. I need to get
Yeah.
into that series, to be honest.
Um, yeah. So first time we played that on stream, and when we play it, we play it all the way through. It's a boop, here we go. We're not stopping until we get to the end of the game, and final credits. Um, we had so many people come out of the woodwork and be like, "You're playing Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. We love that game. Nobody plays that game." And we're just going back and forth talking about this super obscure 3D platformer for the 64 that, when we totally didn't steal it from a Blockbuster out in Central Texas way back when, because it was the only place we found it after we rented it like 5 times. Uh,
Hey, you did what you had to do.
right. It was like, wow, this is pretty fantastic. That one stuck with us. That one stuck with us. Um,
Now I'll ask kind of the opposite question. Is there any stream that at the end you're like, oh god, this was a disaster?
mm, not necessarily. Not necessarily. We're a firm believer in learning from one's mistakes, right? Right. There's as an avid TTRPG player, we like systems that give players experience not only by winning but by losing as well. Okay. And a few years back, we were a player in the newest version of the Dune tabletop RPG game. And in that system, you got experience even if you lost a battle. Because hey, if you lost a battle, you learn from it and you move on, right?
Yeah, of course.
Um, there have been games we've played on stream that we don't want to say scared people away, but where people were like, you know what, we're not gonna come around while you're playing that game because it's not right for us, but we'll come around when you're playing something else.
God,
So
now I'm wondering what kind of game makes that.
we'll get to that in just a moment. We've never been one to be like, we shouldn't play this game on stream. Nobody's gonna come. Like, we'll always play games on stream if we want to play the game, not because it's going to get a lot of views or et cetera, et cetera, you know. But if we start playing a game and people are actively disinterested in it, we might cycle it out because there's a difference between disinterest and well, there's a difference between vocal disinterest and just not showing up, right? We trust our viewers to tell us, I'm just not. Excuse us. Whew. I'm just not interested in this game. That was if you really want to know, that was when we were streaming Zanki Zero Last Beginning.
I actually never heard of that.
Mm.
I might have
It was
seen it and just not remember at all. But what is it? What kind of game is
it
it?
was it was a JRPG, and it's to say that it's out there is a understatement. Very much so.
Oh boy. If you're
Yeah,
saying it's out there, then holy shit.
yeah.
What's the name of it again?
Here you go. We'll copy and paste here. We actually have all of our streaming notes. We take copious amounts of notes for all of our streams. For those that don't know, excuse me. We also we've had people call us affectionately call us names about the way we stream. Um, at the beginning of the year, we actually write down in our calendar a game in which we could stream for every night we're going to stream
Like of the entire year?
of the entire year.
Holy shit.
Now, keyword there is could, not will.
Yeah, subject to
And
change and all that.
right. We do that so that we'll never get we taught ourselves to do that the first year we started really streaming just gaming content. Um we did that so we would never be frozen with choice, which is a thing, all of us have so many games in our Steam library, physical media games, GOG, this, that, and the other. Um, and it's like, oh, heck, what are we going to play today? So in our head, when we start stream, unless we've got an idea of what we're going to play, maybe we're going to play this, we're going to continue that. If Minnie is not feeling any of that, or chat hasn't brought something up within the first few minutes of us talking or what have you, we just look at the calendar and say, what did we write down? That's what we're going to default to. We
That's
don't have to worry about anything else. Boom, we've got a game. Let's go.
there's always a plan that
There's
you can
always a plan.
execute if you decide to do so. Um, you mentioned that you said something along the lines of when you started only streaming, doing video game streams. What kind of streams did you used to do prior to that?
Uh, so before just gaming, um, to be honest, we were all over the place. We originally got on Twitch not to be a streamer, but more so to use it as a sandbox to learn streaming skills, like to mess with OBS, to mess with this, that, and the other. Because at the time we were doing broadcasting jobs for different nonprofits and what have you, and we were like, we're not going to mess with what we're doing for them, obviously, while on the clock. And who cares if we start a stream on our personal stream and it all goes casters up while we're trying something new. We're just trying to learn things. So we had our SLRs connected to the computer, and we uploaded like snails. It was a wild ride. We'll put it that way. We'll have to send you some old footage we found on some of our old hard drives of stuff that we used to stream. It was random nonsense is what it was.
I'd love to watch it. um,
Not a problem.
uh,
Going back to your previous question though was not until this past our past birthday stream, when of course we lost our job, uh we saw we saw so many people, they would do subathons and insert-a-thon here, bit-a-thon. And we were like, those are cool. These are good ideas. People are out there, doing the thing, trying to make a living, because we all have to in this terrible this terrible hexscape that we live in.
you can say it whatever way you want.
Right. Uh, so this capitalistic hexscape we're in together. So the first time we came out, it was our like year anniversary of something or another. I think it was our year anniversary. Maybe it was our birthday stream. It was one of the. It's been too long. We thought, you know what? Instead of doing one of those, because we really didn't need the support, the financial support. If anything, and this still holds true time wise, when we stream, when we're streaming on Twitch, that is the time that Mini is gaming for the most part. Like if we're gaming, we're streaming because why not? It's always fun to game with friends, so why not just do both at the same time?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So one of our first like streamathons was to help a fellow streamer out that was in time of need, and it actually went off very well. We were like, wow, that this is really, you know, the community came together and we reached a goal. Like we thought we'd have to go a couple of days. You know, we were planning to anyway. And we still went the days we set out to do, but we hit our goal within one day. I believe that our first one was Matza EXE. If y'all want to go check them out, you should totally check them out. They are a fantastic bat uh, VTuber and a great artist. And we just posted that in the wrong chat, so we're going to delete that right now. Too many chats.
Happens to
Too many
everyone.
chats.
I was actually
Yeah, there
about
you
to
go.
ask you to do it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then that just kind of started. That just kind of started our why not use this also as a tool to help the community? I mean, solidarity forever is something that we firmly believe in.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. So, yeah, let's go.
Um, Talking to you actually reminded me of something a friend told me. Actually, someone I interviewed also for this series. If something is worth doing poorly, and I feel like without me, maybe even without ever hearing this, it sounds like it's right for you somehow. Does that make any sense?
Well, you know, we like to tell people um, so many people are afraid to start things, okay? Like, what if I don't finish? What if it's bad? What if this, that, and the other? You know, they kill the idea with what ifs, and it's like 50% of anything is just showing up.
Yeah, that's starting something that you think is gonna be difficult is really underrated.
Yeah, yeah. If you show up, if you get there, you know, you're almost there. Just keep going. And again, if you fail, you're still gonna learn from it. Just it's gonna be fine. Many fails all the time. We
And
always
she,
make we always say on stream, you know, Minnie makes mistakes, so y'all don't have to.
and she talks about her mistakes a lot in her streams.
Hmm.
Twitch.tv/Ministry of Army Control.
Shameless plugs. I like that. We also like other. Anyway.
I plug my homies. I mean
Oh.
what?
Ooh woo.
uh,
We're waiting for that.
Actually, just came up with that on the spot.
Very good. Very good.
I love your
Uh,
humor.
oh, thank you. Thank you. We sometimes feel again. We sometimes feel we may be too much for people, and again, you know, we're always going to be ourselves no matter what. But at the same time, we never want to make anybody feel uncomfortable, and we always tell people to kind of like when they're new to the ministry, we always like we give everybody smooches, but only if they want them, because you know if
Yep.
you don't want smooches, we're not many's not naming names. But when people show up, there's two viewers that come around that will only take hugs, and you know what? We respect that.
Yeah. I actually adopted that from you. Uh, Actually started even with people that I know are comfortable with me sending those kinds of comments on a chat. Always
Mm-hmm.
go have pets or if you want them. And I think I adopted that from you.
Aw.
Um, a question that I actually had sort of planned, but I didn't
Oh
want
heck.
to overly do it. Is with the wait, let me see. January, with the Pride Month ending, as far it's Pride Month every month, but the official one ending. Um, I figured it would be a good idea. If it isn't, just tell me. But I figured it would be a good idea to ask you to maybe give some advice to people that haven't quite figured out what is really themselves. Like, um, what would you tell someone who hasn't figured what they truly are?
Hmm. Hmm.
It,
That's actually a very good question. And probably we're gonna wanna step aside from a bit and probably the same advice we would give our students, okay? And that is, one, find a place, and this can be a hard one too, okay? Find a safe place that you can share your feelings openly, okay? Because a lot of times you can't do that, right? You get stuck in your own head.
Tell me about it.
Um, um, we were like that for years. Um, that is a major help. Two, don't let anybody rush you. Don't ever let anybody rush you. You'll you'll know you when you see you. One of those days, you'll hear yourself, you'll see yourself, and you'll be like, "Hey, that's me. That's the real me." And then things just click. Which is both a fantastic, most wonderful feeling and probably the scariest feeling you'll feel in your entire life. It's almost like the point of no return.
Why scary?
Um.
Sorry, but
Oh no.
I'm
That's
exposing
a
my own ignorance.
no. That's
Oh,
not ignorance at all.
but even
Uh.
if it is, let me just say this one thing: exposing someone my own ignorance, I don't mean as a bad thing. I mean I'm willing to say that I don't know for the sake of being told, for the sake of being shown and learn what it is. Sorry,
Well,
continue.
you're good, dear. You're good. We say scary because every life changes. Life changes after that. It's it's kind of like when we came out as a trans woman. It was like you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Everything's going to be different from this point forward. Interactions, um, professional, personal, everything. The whole the rules of the game have changed, and you've got one sheet of the rule book that was hastily torn out of it. Here you go. Welcome to your new life.
Yeah, I think I understand a bit better now. Um,
We wouldn't change it for the world. But at the same time, it is a again, it's the most positive and fantastic experience to finally figure out, for the most part, the real you, the true you. Um, be it something like that, be it your orientation, who you like, who you love, who you don't love. Maybe you've had things forced upon you when you figured out maybe I'm ace, stuff like that. But that just changes again once that is figured out. That just changes everything from that point on.
I oh, I was like, wait, Ace? What is that? Actually, it didn't my brain didn't connect for a second there.
Oh, we get you.
Uh, well, I had looked up and I was like, oh, now I know what it is. Um,
That's why we try to be as open as we can about everything, because and as seen as we can, so that people can see us, and if they resonate with any part of us, they can see that, hey, there's a place in the world for me too. And you know a lot of times it's not easy,
yeah, it isn't.
especially where we are. We've talked about this. We talk about this openly on stream. Many we're in Texas. Not every place is safe for Minnie in Texas. Minnie's strapped all the time. No, 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 no joke intended there, but you can put one if you'd like. Um,
I didn't
but
say anything. I held my tongue.
mhm, we're gonna hold it anyway. but but even so, we know not everybody can do that, right? Not everybody can do that, but we can, so we're going to do it. We'll be visible for those that can't be.
And hopefully those people will eventually find their own ways to be visible as well.
Right, right. We know and love people that have to be, for whatever reason, um, still in the closet, as the phrase is, probably for years to come because of where they are and how their life is, sadly. But we have to work together as a community to make a better world for them, so they don't have to be.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I hope eventually this kind of stuff is a non-issue. Oh, okay. um, to kind of. Oh, this got real. Um, to, if you don't mind me lighting up things a bit,
Yeah,
before
go right
we
ahead.
when do you remember you said how you like to keep everything in good shape and every game in the box and whatnot? Did you ever have an experience with a game so bad that you considered not keeping it in pristine condition?
Ooh, ooh.
Like
No.
humanity doesn't need to experience this.
Okay, okay. There are things that we enjoy that a lot of people don't. We're not going to go into those. because we don't know the rating of
It's
your
it's
interview.
it's plus 18. Go ahead.
Let's play. No, no, it's plus 18, but not plus 21. Anyway,
This is the internet, not America.
right, right. We've had some games that weren't our cup of tea, and you know how much Minnie loves her tea.
Yes, I do.
So if that's the case, we've just given them to other people. Because if it's not our flavor, it might be somebody else's. We we used to play. We used to play. We still do from time to time. Actually, funny enough, um, some 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 trivia for all of y'all. The very first game that we played as the current incarnation of Mini on stream was a fun little game called 1001 Spikes.
I actually know that one, or at least I
Hey!
heard the name.
There's a what is the name for games like that?
Roguelike.
No. It's the kind that, like you don't know the what blocks are going to kill you. There are a bunch of Mario ROM hacks.
Um. Oh
Starts
God.
with a T.
Kaiser Mario.
Yeah. It's a Tizer like game. We used to play so many games like that, and we enjoy them. We really do. They frustrate the heck out of our friends, especially our friends would watch us play them, and we die and just try again. It's just like, okay, so now we know what not to do, and we keep on keeping on. We know there are many people that do not like those types of games.
I have too many skill issues for that.
um, so just like how we enjoy those games, and a lot of people don't, anytime we would have a game that we didn't enjoy, it didn't really ruffle our feathers, as it were. It'd be like, here, we'll give this game to somebody else and see if they enjoy it. We're not going to yuck somebody else's yum.
Hey, that's a very fair point.
And it wouldn't be, we know people that would get like super angry and, we're going to wreck the controller, we're going to this, that, and the other. And we're sitting back here like, why? What good is that going to do except make you angry later that you've messed up your controller?
When I was a kid, I used to do that, but now I thankfully I don't do that anymore. I remember I messed up a PS2 controller on a. I don't remember. I remember the game, but I don't. It was stupid. Anyways.
We also think and kind of a conversation we've had from time to time in lovely Co is not Pog Cass, beautiful streamer.
You might see them in this show sometime.
Oh, good.
May or may
Heck
not.
yeah, let's go.
No promises.
um Being that we are an older program, we were used to games on the Apple II, games on the Commodore 64, the original NES.
Oh yeah, the NES is a big thing in the US.
Right. Um, a lot of those earlier games, especially the 8-bit computer games, we enjoyed immensely. But if you take off the glasses of nostalgia and just look at them as they are right now, they're pretty bad, okay? The graphics are what they could do at the time, but hit detection's quite awful. Um, you know, um, we were really suffering in those days. We just didn't know it. But those games built up our tolerance to put up with a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, it's easier to put things into context.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, we like to play up a lot of the this game was better than that game, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but we also are wise enough to know a lot of that too is just because of nostalgia. If you walk away from nostalgia and you put down those memories that were connected to the game, we can be like, yeah, no, we can rationally say this game is actually probably a better game than this other game over here. We prefer this one because it was what we were used to.
Um, One thing that you do that I'm quite curious how it started is how when and how did you started talking about yourself as a processor? Like, how did that kind of speak start?
Oh, as a program?
Yeah, as a program.
Oh, well, that's the like we said how many the character and mini real life, we have that 5% we're 95% the same, 5% difference. And you got to have a little bit of character building.
I always find that interesting how you managed to do it so well. So it's like you just
And
switch on and now you're a program.
that was uh that was one of our older real life jobs, one of our first careers, as it were, was we were doing embedded processor embedded processor programming.
All right. I gotta admit, I don't know exactly what that is.
Low level assembly based programming.
Oh, okay. Um, um, Actually, I believe that was the last question I had. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug?
Well, we've already you've already plugged Mini so very well. But how did you, dear Saturn, get yourself into doing this? Inquiring Minis would like to know.
Um, this current series,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was I was in what I was in the chat of FTA.
Okie
It
dokie.
The real FTA as he's currently named. Um, we actually I actually had done an interview with him about 10, 11 years ago. But when I was feeling manic depressed, I deleted that along with every other interview I had at the time. Um,
Oh no.
I didn't have many to be honest, but I did had a couple. I had an interview with the official voice of Silver the Hedgehog for like his first official voice.
Mm.
Um, and I had a couple more. Um, and I don't know why that topic came up in that stream, but I mentioned it, and he without any prompt, hey, do you want to redo it now? I was like, can I even do this? but I said yes. I mean, uh, and I I think I even downloaded OBS already with him in the call.
Oh, nice.
Um, and he was very extremely nice, extremely. He's a he might say he's an asshole, but he's actually one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Oh.
And that interview was over, it's like I I can do this. I actually can do this. And so I arranged for that second interview. It's like, okay, I can actually. So I came up with a name and just started asking people around. Well, so yeah, that's how Power Up Positivity started.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, I hope you had a good time here.
Oh, we had a great time.
And to anyone listening, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And
And for anybody listening, because we're gonna take Saturn's words from Saturn right now. All of y'all are loved, and all of y'all are valid as heck.
this is a threat.
It's a threat. And smooches if you want to.
All right, have a good one, everyone.
Bye.